Hi again, everyone. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed the jacket video that I created just kind of on a whim. I wanted to get something out as fast as possible because it'd been a few weeks, and I explained in that video that I had a project that I was really looking forward to getting here, and it had snowed and stuff, so it's a little chilly, especially when it's 15 degrees out like it is today. So I apologize for the sound of the heater going. You might not hear that as much because I got my microphone on again because I've been having audio problems with just recording off of my phone. I do apologize for that if anybody noticed. I'm sure everybody noticed. This week, I am working on a different project, and I'm doing it for a neighbor. So if you're new to the channel, thanks for watching, and please consider subscribing. I'll show you what I'm currently working on to fill the void. Now, my neighbor dropped me off a carburetor. Looks like about a 600 or 650 vacuum secondary Holley. It was built for Ford, so it's got all these vacuum hoses all over it. And I figured I'd help him out by rebuilding it because the truck's not running too great. I can see that the high-speed air bleeds down here are clogged. I know that's the secondaries, and the primaries look, I don't know. I have to pull it apart to take a look, but truck don't run good, and we're going to figure out why by pulling this thing apart. And I figure I'll do a video and, again, try to fill the time, because it's been way too long since I've filmed a video, and I don't like going in long stretches of time without filming a video for you guys, because what's the point of having a YouTube channel if you don't put anything on it to entertain people with it? So, I'm going to rebuild this carburetor and maybe bring you all along for the ride. And if you don't know how to do it, maybe I'll give you a little bit of info, and maybe we'll all learn something during this. So, why don't we get to work? Holley carburetors. Holley was contracted by Ford to build their carburetors back when they had carburetors. I'm looking at this tag here. It says remanufactured by Holley on it. You can't really read that, but this appears to be a 1464. I don't even know what the hell number it is, but there's so much. 51074. I have no idea. There's so many numbers. They're all Ford numbers. They're all up here somewhere. But whatever. It's vacuum secondary, obviously. I don't know what all these vacuum ports are for. I don't know. I'm just touching the carburetor. Choke mechanism works. I mean, it's really dirty and all, but we'll figure that out. Now, to take any Holley apart, 4 bolts on the end of the bowl, and the bowl should come right off. Here, I don't think it will, but yeah, we'll figure it out. Again, secondary side, 4 bolts, pull it off. You got your needle and seat here. This looks like your fill tube between, or some, not fill tube, but you know, some kind of equalizer, whatever. I don't know. Anyway, we'll figure it out. So why don't we start working on pulling this thing apart, draining whatever's in it out. Pulled it apart. You can see down in here there is some rust. It looked like some water came out of it as well. Unlike standard Holleys that have the jets like straight in here, these are a little bit off to the side. It's a much older carburetor. It's got a different power valve, it looks like. This is a weird shaped thing. I don't even know what that is. I've been trying to read the number on it, but I can't figure it out. Hopefully I have some gaskets that'll fit this thing, but I'm not going to bank on that, so we'll see what we can find. I do see some, like, I don't know if that's water or not in there. Let me see. Yep, that's water. Whew, that smells pretty bad. So I'll keep working on this thing. I'll get the thing flushed out. I'll see if I even have gaskets for it or if I gotta order them. Yeah, they were shot the second I pulled them off. I know they're old, so I'll get it pulled apart all the way around. I'll flush it. I'll clean the gaskets up. We'll see if I have gaskets for it. Needle and seat doesn't seem to be stuck. Nothing seems to be ruined, so I'll get to work on this a little bit more. So as I'm digging this thing more and more, I am finding, you can probably see it, I'm not too sure though, that's supposed to be a bleed hole in the, high speed, low speed air bleeds here. You see one open, but the other one's not. And on this side, I think it's more of the same story. There we go. One's open, one's not. That's the secondary side. I don't think this thing ever sees enough throttle, honestly, to open up the secondaries. Because you look at the primaries, and the primaries are actually pretty clean. You can't really see down in there very well because there's not enough light. Now you can. And yeah, you can see the air bleeds are kind of open. You can see that it's a much different color. I think this thing just doesn't drive enough because it's just a plow truck that goes around our neighborhood to open up the secondaries, and that's why they never get any fuel or air or anything flowing through them. It's just kind of carbony baked on nothingness. And that's why the air bleeds are probably all buggered up. But I'm going to go through the whole thing, spray her down, clean the whole middle, main body out, and then we're going to go and try to decipher this thing, clean it out. I don't even know if I have any gaskets or not. We'll look it up. The needles and seats are not frozen in them, but you can see just how kind of gross it is in here. The truck gets water in the fuel, and it's getting a lot of it into the secondary and primary bowls. Primary bowl doesn't look as bad, but again, that's the one that's, well, you can still see some sediment inside of it. But I think it's because the secondary doesn't get used as much as it should. So, again, we'll clean everything out. We'll soak it in some spots, and we'll try to bring her back to you. Quite the mess, but this is as blown apart as this thing's going to get. The secondary, I pulled this all apart, and I got the plate out of it and everything, and I cleaned everything up. You tell this was the side that went in because you can see there's like a little rust spot right where I dropped it, right here where my thumb is. So there's obviously some water in the fuel here, which I'd mentioned earlier. Now I sprayed a bunch of seafoam, like top cleaner or top engine cleaner and lube and stuff, and it gets rid of a lot of carbon and stuff. So that helped clean up these secondary venturis and such. Also, I believe, yeah, these gaskets were like stock. They were awful. They were like cork with some kind of sticky stuff on them, and I had to take the wire brush to the this brass wire brush here to like the back of this very gently, and I just clean up whatever I can. I wanted to make sure that the secondary vacuum worked, which, by the way, I have to put that lever arm back on anyway, but we'll get to that. Primary side, I got to clean her up just a little more. I'm going to replace the accelerator pump here where my thumb is. Probably do the needle and seat as well. I'm gonna do the power valve and just clean it up and put it all back together. So that's the stage we're at right now. thanks to the Holly trick kit. I bought one for, I think, a 4160. This thing is a lot older than a modern 4160. Let me get up on that thing for you. And I only ran into one real issue with it. Obviously, we got this fresh base gasket for it that I'm going to give my neighbor. The only real issue was that there was a lot of gasket clearances and such. Because, again, this thing is a lot older than your standard vacuum secondary, I think 4160. Again, don't quote me on these numbers. It's as close as it's going to get. But anyway, the gasket for this metering block, and what kind of threw me off was that these don't have the idle adjustments in them. So that's kind of weird. A lot different than I'm really used to, but it has tabs inside of it to center or locate the gasket. And I had to actually cut those off and basically make it a perimeter gasket for it. And that didn't really go very easily. I mean, I was able to do it. The secondary side went together easily. Just the gasket fit perfectly. All the gaskets for the plates were perfect. Everything was perfect. It bolted together, no problem. Primary side was the issue. It's a different metering block than what they offer now. It's just older and discontinued stuff. So I also replaced the accelerator pump, and I found the accelerator pump rod was really out of adjustment. There was a whole ton of play in it. So I adjusted it so that I'm still able to move this, but it's not like coming off of it, so when he touches the throttle, it moves. I inspected everything else, and I don't know. Hopefully it works for him. It's cold enough for me to put a hat on. Anyway, I hope this works out for him. The guy's nice enough to plow the road for us, because in my neighborhood, we have a shared driveway clause where we basically maintain the road ourselves. I went to my town hall and told them that I should pay less taxes because I'm not getting all the services of the town, you know, paving, plowing, maintenance. And they didn't seem to like my answer to that. So I still got to pay the same amount as everybody else. But anyway, I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate it. I'm going to get out of this cold because it is 15 degrees. I had the heater going literally the whole time. I just turned it off to talk to y'all, and I'm hopeful that I can get that other project here really soon. It looks like the snow's starting to clear up. I'm starting to get the other garage cleaned out enough that I can move that project over, and I can hopefully within the next couple weeks start on that, because I'll be honest, it's getting close to race season, and that means the garage is going to be busy with the race car again. And I would really like to get that project underway. It's basically going to be a get it going and get it running and under its own power project. But it's going to be a little more sentimental than that, and you'll see. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I appreciate it. Click like and subscribe if you can. Tell your friends if you like what you see. And I promise this next one's going to be good. Not that the other ones aren't good, but I promise. So thank you all for watching. I appreciate it.